Now, your forecast first with a KX Storm Team.
Well, it sure is nice that that block of real cold air has moved off to the east. At least it's nice for us. Now we have some snow on the way. Now it's not heavy. Here's a satellite on the radar. You can see it dropping down out of Canada. So it's in the north central part of the state right now, heading from north to south. And there's a little bit of freezing rain. It looks like that would be there in Montreal County, but overall, just very, very light snow. And temperatures right now are in the 20s and 30s. And looking ahead to tomorrow, 20s to around 30. So it's going to be a little chilly tomorrow, but it's going to warm up later in the week. I'll tell you about that coming up.
Coming up next on KX News at 6, hundreds of thousands of lives are taken by opioid-related drug overdoses. We'll look into the origin of this crisis.
And we highlight one jeweler's story of recovery, as well as the unique way she's continuing her journey.
Plus, Beulah's Coal Country Community Health Center started a pretty revolutionary movement. We'll have those details straight ahead.
Putting North Dakota first. KX News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, North Dakota. I'm Nicholas Quallen.
And I'm Lauren Culver. Thanks for watching KX News. In tonight's top story, the origins of a devastating crisis. Prescription drug abuse has already claimed hundreds of thousands of lives. We've been looking into this since the beginning of the epidemic for a while. And the best place to start telling this story might be the year 1996. That's when a drug called OxyContin was introduced to the market by the pharmaceutical company Purdue Pharma.
It was marketed as a sort of miracle pill. Purdue sales reps played it up its long-lasting pain relief compared to Percocet or Vicodin and downplayed the risk for abuse or addiction. Purdue doubled its sales force and flew doctors to all expenses paid conferences to convince them to prescribe OxyContin. And it worked. This push would help to lay the groundwork for what is now called the opioid crisis. Since 1999, about 200,000 people have died of an overdose involving prescription opioids. In 2017 alone, about 17,000 people died in that way. Pharmaceutical companies are starting to be penalized for their alleged roles. In 2007, Purdue was fined $634 million for misrepresenting how addictive Oxy could be. And in September, after reaching a $10 billion settlement with many state and local governments, Purdue filed for bankruptcy. Last month, 4 other drug companies reached a $260 million settlement in Ohio over their role in the crisis.
And a judge dismissed North Dakota's own case against Purdue, saying a suit against one company oversimplifies the opioid crisis.
Now, that was appealed to the North Dakota Supreme Court, but Purdue settled and filed for bankruptcy before the Supreme Court could give its opinion. And
a local woman is a victim of that opioid epidemic. She started using at the height of the prescription boom. Here's KX's digital reporter, Nikki Johnson, with Pam's story.
The opioid crisis in the state is a real battle. One North Dakota entrepreneur in recovery from pain medication says her drug dealers were her doctors.
My doctors, the emergency room doctors, my primary doctor was my drug dealer. I got whatever I wanted. And I know a lot of it had to do with the way I look. I had a doctor even write that in my notes. And he said, Pam is a very smart, attractive woman, and I just want to give her whatever she wants.
Meet Pam Emmel, owner of Driven Diva Planner and Driven Diva Designs. On the outside, she showed no sign of struggling with her addiction. On the inside was a different story.
Growing up, I always felt different, and I thought it was because I was adopted and because I felt different than my brothers. My brothers were very academically smart, and I was not.
Pam grew up in what she calls a normal home. But after several traumatic experiences with a family member, she began to mask her pain by drinking alcohol.
I would lie, I would cheat, I would steal, I would drink. I didn't understand what I was doing.
This continued from high school into her late 30s when she was diagnosed with melanoma skin cancer. It was then her drug of choice became pain pills. The new normal for Pam became frequent trips to the ER or walk-in clinics. This is how her daughter Courtney remembers her mom. Always sick, always going to the doctor.
It was just like very normal for me to drive her to the emergency room more than once, twice a week.
After many years of being in and out of the hospitals for cancer, shingles, nerve damage, and more, it got to the point where Pam got arrested for altering her morphine prescription.
He gave it to me on a Friday, said don't fill it until Monday. And me being the impulsive Pam that I am, I was at the drugstore, grocery store where I fill my prescriptions, getting some candy for my office, and tried to fill my prescription, and I altered the prescription to look like it could have been filled on that day. And the cops came, and I ended up getting arrested, and I had a felony charge on me. And it was just like, what just happened?
After years of using pain medication to mask her emotional pain, Pam's husband told her she needed help. They learned about Ideal Option, a medical facility in Bismarck that helps people get off of opioids by offering buprenorphine, a prescription medicine used to treat adults who are addicted to opioid drugs as part of a treatment program that also includes behavioral therapy. Pam's been taking it since she got sober 2 years ago.
By the grace of God, Ideal Options opened in Bismarck February 21st of 2018, and I was their very first patient at 8:30 in the morning. And the doctors were amazing. They treated me like a human being.
Our goal is for a person to be comfortable and to have cravings controlled, and they should take it at a dose that makes them comfortable for as long as it helps them.
As an entrepreneur, Pam says it's important to have all the right things in place in order to keep her life and business moving in a positive direction.
Trust me, my business is exponentially grown. I can't keep up with it right now because I'm clean and sober, and I've got the faith, and I've got the friends, and I've got the family. It's, you know, I've got all the right things now is my trifecta now, and it feels amazing.
Nikki Johnson, KX News.
And Courtney, Pam's daughter, has a special message for children with parents dealing with addiction. You can see that message exclusively on KXNet.com.
KX News is putting you first with these stories of recovery, not only through our research, but also our conversations with people like Pam who are recovering from addiction. So with that in mind, Pam showed us how she manages to stay sober in her day-to-day life. And it involves a simple bracelet on her wrist. She's been clean for 2 years now and tells us something that helps her is Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. If you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill that idea. This method helps Pam not only achieve her goals, but combat cravings as well as anxiety. This also helped her business grow when she created the 5-second rule bracelets. She says her friends suggested she start selling the bracelets, and since then, she's been able to share her recovery story.
During my recovery program, and as I was recovering, I was using the 5-second rule. I was counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I would take a deep breath, change my thought. And when I was having a craving, when I was having anxiety, when I was having stress, when I was having feelings of uncertainty, I was doing the 5-second rule.
Pam says this bracelet has helped not only women with their personal struggles, but men and children too. Find more information on the 5-second rule and the bracelet over on KXNet.com.
And keep it here, still to come, or coming up at 10 rather, while Veterans Day has passed. KX News is still honoring all of our veterans who have served, and we will continue to do so.
In tonight's Veterans Voices, we don't just have the story of a remarkable veteran, but also his journey through recovery.
Still to come at 6, an update on Western North Dakota's first Center for Rural Addiction Treatment.
Plus, taking a live look outside, find out how long we'll be safe from below zero temperatures in your full weather forecast.
You're watching KX News at 6 with Lauren Kalber, Nicholas Kwolek, weather with meteorologist Dave Holder, and sports with Joey Lamar. KX News at 6, putting North Dakota first. Watch Your Health First, weekdays at 5 with Lauren Kalber.
Alexa, turn on the house lights.
Now, during SUV season, get over $6,000 total savings or lease an Escape for just $249 a month, only at your Northland Ford dealers.
Okay, ready?
Oh my.
One more. Put a little more in it, okay?
At Trinity Health, our orthopedic and sports medicine specialists deliver more advanced options and remarkable recoveries. Trinity Health, making more possible.
The clinic we were working at abruptly closed. Not only were we out of job, but our rural community lost its only medical facility. So we decided to open our own family practice, but we needed a business loan.
Brett at Kirkwood Bank and Trust helped us open a new clinic. This was an unsure business, and Brett took a chance on us by allowing us to pursue our dream.
And now we're able to keep our community healthy again.
Hello, I'm Justin Thiel from Cedric Thiel Toyota in Bismarck, and right now is the best time to get the Toyota that you've always wanted.
It's out with the old and in with the new during our year-end clearance sale going on right now at Cedric Thiel Toyota. Don't miss the best deals of the year on our great selection of remaining 2019 Highlanders, RAV4s, Tundras, Tacomas, and 4Runners.
For great deals and award-winning service, visit Cedric Thiel Toyota, located just off I-94's exit 161 in East Bismarck.
Since 1908, H.A. Thompson & Sons has helped thousands of buildings run comfortably through the hottest and coldest weather in North Dakota.
Now, our guaranteed maintenance agreements for heating and cooling systems keep your equipment running efficiently, reducing costs, and providing consistent comfort. Preventive maintenance doesn't cost, it actually saves, and we'll show you how to save money and improve your comfort.
Working together, we'll find ways to help your building and budget with our custom maintenance plans.
Call us today, H.A. Thompson & Sons.
What could you do with $2,500? Santa's helper loans are here. Happy holidays. At View, the focus is on you.
You're watching KX News, putting North Dakota first.
In February, we introduced you to the first rural addiction treatment center in western North Dakota.
Beulah's Coal Country Community Health Center started a rather revolutionary movement by offering behavioral health services back in 2009, closely followed by addiction treatment. Renee Cooper got a chance to check in, see the brand new facility, and learn about all of the services being offered in rural North Dakota for the first time.
Melissa Herman was a part of a team of just a few people that launched these services 10 years ago.
We got to get that stigma out and start realizing that people struggle with a lot of different things, and they're not alone. There's people out here that are willing to help and can help.
This is the new and improved home of Coal Country Community Health Center as of April, making room for at least 7 new employees. But the biggest new addition is the intensive outpatient program.
Our first group started, and it was a pretty big group.
Before the IOP program, the center used to have 1 group meeting a week for patients. Now, they offer them 3 nights a week, 3 hours at a time, as a part of the 8-week program.
People with drug and alcohol problems, you know, sometimes don't have a license, get a DUI, don't have a license, don't have enough, aren't financially stable, can't make a trip to Bismarck for the treatment they need, you know, 3 times a week.
They've also brought in additional counselors and a traveling psychologist because, as McKay explains, more often than not, addiction is a symptom of mental health. And to really overcome addiction, you have to get down to the root cause.
That's kind of one of the reasons why people with addiction use drugs and alcohol, is to cope with the mental health aspects, the anxiety, the depression, you know, some personality disorders and things like that.
Right now, they're not able to offer inpatient treatment, which is something McKay says is important to many recovery stories, including his own.
To put somebody in a facility for full 30 days, that's how we rewire our brains and develop those new neural pathways. So it's, you know, the chances of relapse or triggers and cravings are lessened, where in Beulah right now, we don't have an inpatient facility, we don't have a sober house.
But the growth makes him optimistic for the future.
I would have bet all my chips that I would have never ended up back in this area, because it was really hard for me to grow up here, and I got entangled in the drugs and the alcohol. The question I ask myself is, could I have gotten sober here, like in this area? And until recently, I had my doubts. So that's my personal objective, is bringing resources and things here so I can ask myself, could I have gotten sober here? And it's like, yeah, I think I could have.
McKay and Herman challenge their patients to let go of the stigma of shame and worrying that people know about your addiction, particularly in a town where everyone knows everyone.
Have people come in, utilize our services, and walk away knowing, you know, I can come out there and tell people that I've struggled with this, because that's how I'm going to teach other people about it, and that I'm a human and things happen.
Get out there and be kind of the face of recovery and start developing these resources on their own, because that's what happened in Bismarck, and that's what happens everywhere, is somebody's got to start and step up.
Encouraging patients to use their story as a tool. Renee Cooper, KX News.
McKay says everyone deserves an equal chance at getting sober. The Department of Human Services has a 24/7 recovery talk line.
So there's always someone to talk to in a time of crisis, no matter where you live. And that information is on our website, kxnet.com.
And we're taking another live look outside. We'll tell you what weather you can expect through the weekend in your full weather forecast when we return.
Daily Pledge of Allegiance every weekday morning right here on Good Day Dakota. Sponsored by Eastgate and Parkway Funeral Services.
We're having a pay-it-forward sales opportunity all month long at Dvorak Motors. Opportunities are for everyone, and if you're in the market for a pre-loved vehicle with the best lifetime warranty, we will pay it forward by giving you a minimum of $1,000 for your trade, regardless of condition. In return, you will donate that vehicle to the Wheels for Work donation program to give someone in need a vehicle of their own. Plus, for every vehicle sold, we will donate $100 to Wheels for Work and Bismarck Mandan School's lunch program. We are paying it forward all month long at Dvorak Motors. We're your family for a lifetime.
You know what sounds like fun? Your oasis for fun at the new and improved Four Bears Casino and Lodge. Now that sounds like fun.
Next ET, only we're with Ava Mendez.
It's an ET exclusive.
With Ava.
That's me.
Talking love, fashion, and her go-to mommy beauty trick.
I like that stuff.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it hurts.
Next ET.
Today at 6:30 on KX. Check out tonight's great lineup starting at 7, followed by KX News at 10. Tonight's lineup is brought to you by Ford. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or visit buyfordnow.com.
Since 1977, Northwest Tire's been your partner on the road for over 40 years. People have put their trust in our quality brand tires and expert service on the roads and in the fields for work, play, and travel. Northwest Tire, keeping you rolling down the road.
Every year, 300 to 400 physicians in the U.S. die from suicide, nearly one every day.
Addiction does not discriminate. Medical providers are affected by mental illness and substance use disorders at the same rate as the general population. Approximately 20% will be affected throughout their lifetime. If you are a medical provider and you are concerned about your use of drugs or alcohol, or you are concerned about your mental health, please do not wait until this is affecting your professional life. Contact the NDPHP. We're here to help.
Now, your local weather with the KX Storm Team.
We keep winter hours so you guys can enjoy these animals, and these animals enjoy this weather. Hey, Tom, how's the weather?
Yeah, those are the otters out at Roosevelt Park Zoo. Learned a fun fact. They have actually two coats. The first one is a dense coat that keeps the warm air near the body, and then they have a long hair coat on top of that that wicks away water. And in North Dakota, boy, that really works out, because I think those otters were really enjoying that. Let's take a look at the KX cam in Minot. I don't see any snow showing up here, and when I look at the Bismarck cam, I don't see any snow showing up there, but that will likely change. Also want to show you something here. This is from Lake Sakakawea. The lake's still open, and with that relatively warmer air, it's creating some steam, some fog, and once the lake freezes up, that'll end. Right now, the temperatures are in the 20s most locations. We do have some 30s in the west, though. I mean, it's still 35 degrees in Hettinger, 36 in Bowman, Bismarck at 22, Minot at 29, Dickinson at 34. The wind is roughly 5 to 10 miles an hour. Obviously, there's a couple of exceptions here or there. It's out of the west, not the north, so we were able to warm up a little bit today. The wind chills aren't that bad, mid to upper 20s, most locations. Botno at 16 for the wind chill. You can see Medina at 12, Linton at 15, but a lot of places in the upper 20s to around 30s, so really not all that cold. So here's that radar and the satellite. So we have the snow kind of in the north central part of the state right now. It's been dropping down out of Canada, also in eastern Montana, but it is heading towards the Bismarck area. Also Dickinson, it looks like, for tonight. None of this is going to be heavy. We're probably looking at a ½ inch to an inch, but it could make the roads pretty slick for tomorrow morning. In fact, by 9 o'clock tonight, you can kind of see we have widespread snow, mostly north of Lake Sakakawea, but that's going to head south towards I-94 and towards Bismarck and Dickinson. But notice these are only like one shade of white and a couple of shades of blue there, so this will be very, very light snow. And then tomorrow morning may start off cloudy except in the far north, but the sun is going to be returning. It is going to be a little chilly tomorrow, not as cold as Sunday and Monday, but still rather chilly. And then by the rest of the week, we're going to start warming up. As we check out the next 72 hours for Dickinson, notice how these temperatures, I mean, again, cold tomorrow with that chance of snow, but it is going to start warming up back into the 40s as we get into the weekend. And in Williston, kind of the same thing, around 40 degrees once we get past tomorrow. The low forecast for tonight, the temperatures tonight should be in the teens and 20s. Now, there's going to be just a little bit of a breeze. There will be some snow for a little bit tonight. And then tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures, in some cases, nearly steady, but we're looking at 20s to maybe some low 30s. Those temperatures are still well below average. As we check out the next 7 days, it will continue to warm up, and I know Nicholas was talking about warmer for the weekend. Yeah, we should be in the 40s, just a slight chance of rain or snow, but it does look like we're going to be in the 40s for a while, and no Arctic outbreaks anytime soon.
It's always a welcome sign of relief, that's for sure. Tom, thank you very much.
Keep it here. Sports is next.
For your business or personal banking needs, call Chad or Ray at BNC National Bank in Bismarck.
More than 68,000 North Dakotans care for a parent, spouse, or other loved one, helping them live independently at home. Now, a new law called the CARE Act supports these family caregivers. This law ensures that hospitals identify and involve the patient's family caregiver throughout their stay, and that hospitals provide instructions for aftercare tasks like injections and wound care that the caregiver will perform at home. To learn more, visit kxnet.com/caregiving.
Sponsored by AARP North Dakota.
Agriculture feeds the world. Energy shines the light upon it. North Dakota is blessed to have an abundance of both. Wind energy is here, to the tune of 3,000 megawatts being produced in-state every year, and that number is still growing. Landowners benefit from offering their private property as part of wind farms, and it allows them the opportunity to diversify and strengthen their agricultural operations. Wind energy helps keep our electricity reliable and low cost, and wind energy pays for improvements to our roads, bridges, water projects, and schools by sending new property tax revenue to 28 North Dakota counties. Leaders across our great state have forged a vision for an all-of-the-above energy policy, which includes harvesting our wind resources to sell power to our neighbors in surrounding states and Canada. This gives landowners a steady stream of reliable income on their property for decades. It's a win-win situation. Wind energy and agriculture, a great partnership for North Dakota's future.
Open your eyes to a credit union.
We're a local,
community-based credit union.
But local doesn't mean you're limited. We offer free
mobile apps,
online banking,
bill pay, mobile check deposit,
and more.
So much more. So you can build your financial future
anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. So open your eyes.
Open your eyes.
Open your eyes to a credit union.
So open your eyes. Come see us at First Community Credit Union.
A credit union.
It's Truck Month in the Northland, where we take on every tough job, any rough terrain, and no matter what comes our way, we keep on trucking. Yeah, we're tougher up here, and there's only one brand of truck built to keep up. During Truck Month, get up to $9,250 cash back on a Ford F-150 or lease F-150 for just $299 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Brought to you by Cedric Thiel Toyota of Bismarck, where we have 5 SUVs to choose from.
Now, KX Sports with Joey Lamar.
With regional volleyball tournaments underway, one team that has aspirations for winning a state title is the Flasher Bulldogs. Phil Bonatti has more on how the blizzard in October prepared them for a postseason run.
Sitting as a #1 seed in the Region 5 tournament, the Flasher Bulldogs are the team to beat. A fact that the teams they've played this season have noticed too.
We're a big target. I think that every time we play, we are getting that team's best game. And so that's what we try to do when we prepare and practice during the week before the matches.
The Bulldogs credit their success to being adaptable. The most extreme example coming during the blizzard in October. A storm that put their schedule into fast forward towards the end of the regular season.
Playing when you're already 2 games in was mentally and physically challenging. We've actually had to
fight for our sets.
In a 6-day span, Flasher played 4 matches, including 3 in a row against Shiloh, New England, and a 5-set match against Dickinson Trinity.
It was difficult. It was, everyone got pretty sore after all that, but it really helped us become mentally strong and overcoming the tiredness and fatigue of just not feeling so great.
I thought that at different times, girls stepped up. We needed leadership on the floor and composure, and all 8 or 9 girls really found a way to do that.
In the 5-set match with Trinity, Flasher had their 21-set win streak snapped, but they still won the match. Players say it was a challenge the team needed ahead of the postseason pressure.
That's what it's going to take at this time of the year. You need to be that type of team that can handle a little adversity and still find a way to fight back.
In Flasher, Phil Bonatti, KX Sports.
Right now, Flasher is playing Garrison Max for a spot in the Region 5 Volleyball Championship. Now we go to 9-man football, where Kidder County continues its historic season. This Friday, Kidder County will play for the 9-man state championship for the first time in school history. Offensively, this is a balanced team. Coach Jack Busterfield said they are running the ball and throwing the ball at around 50% each.
That'll keep teams honest, and we have kids that can catch the ball too, and we're pass blocking well. So it's something we have been doing, mainly probably for scoring, but we made some big plays with the pass game.
Kidder County looks to win the school's first ever state title on Friday when they face Cavalier at 9:10 a.m. at the Fargo Dome. Now we go to the other football. The University of Mary women's soccer team is set to play their first-round match of the Northern Sun Conference Tournament. UMary will be the number 6 seed and face MSU Mankato. These two squads met on October 4th in Bismarck, and UMary won that contest 2-1. UMary has been on a hot streak lately. The Marauders have won 4 of their last 5 matches. Head coach Sarah Cook says the success really started when players figured out how they want to attack.
Finding different players to get on the scoring sheet really has been successful for us in improving our versatility of our attacking players, and then overall our defense always kind of being solid at the back and then also in goal with Madison.
UMary's match with MSU Mankato is tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Okay. She looks a little cold.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, just like everybody else is. Joey, thank you very much. When we return, we'll have one last look at your forecast.
It's Truck Month in the Northland, where we take on every tough job, any rough terrain, and no matter what comes our way, we keep on trucking. Yeah, we're tougher up here, and there's only one brand of truck built to keep up. During Truck Month, get up to $9,250 cash back on a Ford F-150 or lease F-150 for just $299 a month. Only at your local Northland Ford dealer.
Some things in life are hard. That's why banking shouldn't be. Cornerstone Bank.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. But that's what your Cat dealer is here for.
Right now at Butler Machinery, lease a new Cat 236D skid steer loader for as low as $549 a month.
Cash Dash is back with the North Dakota Lottery. Ask for Cash Dash to get one of each for $11, and you could instantly win up to $500. Cash Dash ends November 30th, so play today. The North Dakota Lottery. Imagine the possibilities.
For your financial service needs, contact a Stifel financial advisor in Bismarck, Dickinson, Jamestown, or Williston. Stifel Wealth Management and Investment Banking, built around you. Full service solutions for individuals and business. Call Stifel today.
Tonight on CBS.
Federal agents, heads up!
Hey guys, where are all these images from?
You saw something that got him killed.
Your husband had a lot of secrets. It's always the ones you least expect.
A new NCIS. Then.
Our DOA is the ex-Surgeon General.
Being a cop isn't for everyone.
Put the gun down and let him go.
A new FBI after a new NCIS. Tonight on CBS.
We'll continue our Road to Recovery series tonight at 10, and we'd like to extend a thank you to the many people agreeing to share their story.
And if you'd like to see any story from our Recovery Reinvented series,
you can head over to KXNet.com, where you'll even find digital-only exclusives as well. And now, here's a last look at your forecast.
Well, it looks like there is going to be some snow tonight, and we're talking very light snow on the order, ½ to an inch. And there's a little bit of freezing rain, it looks like, in parts of Montreal and Ward County. That would be the pink there. Now, you notice how it hasn't really worked its way too far south. That will change, so if you're in Dickinson, Hettinger, Bismarck, Ashley, you're likely going to get at least a little bit of snow tonight, and this should be out of here by tomorrow morning. The temperatures tonight will be above zero. Isn't that nice? Probably in the teens, maybe some low 20s. And then tomorrow we're going to be in the 20s and maybe some 30s, and it'll warm up more than that as we get into the weekend.
Yeah, just glad it's getting warmer out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for watching KX News.
Join us again at 10.